America is getting the new sleeveless garments. For members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the temple garment is not just underwear. It is a symbol, a daily reminder of the promises that we've made in our sacred spaces, of the covenants that we carry. And now, America is going to get a new version of that symbol. The garment, sleeveless garment, is rolling out to America in the fourth quarter of 2025. Now, the Salt Lake Tribune has done some interviews where people have said it's made them feel more modern, more relevant. But the deeper truth, the garment is not about fashion. It's not a trend. It's not about what you're wearing. It's about who you've become, who you've promised, and who you're striving to follow. Today, we're walking the line between style and sacred. We're with fashion creator and faith bridge builder Grace Evans, and she shows us how to wear the covenant with confidence, how to navigate updates without losing the purpose, and how to make garments more than just what goes under the shirt, but what goes into your life. So if you've ever wondered, is it okay to talk about garments? Is it okay to change them? Is the church changing, or is it something much deeper? Stick around, because we're diving into what it really means to wear the promise, not the fabric. Out the gate, for real though, I appreciate you being willing to come with us on Saints Unscripted.
No problem. I'm excited.
So I'm out here with one of the biggest LDS influencers, but she makes content for honestly for everybody. This Grace Evans. So is Evans your last name? Or
Yeah.
just on, okay, bet. Okay, so Grace, let the people know how you guys started doing content.
Oh my gosh, it's such a long story. The shortest version of the story that I could give is I was going through a tough time in life and wanted an outlet, so I started posting online. And like a year and a half later, everyone just started picking up and started following, and I'm so grateful. And I don't know why people like me, but I'm super grateful. So happy to be here.
But would you say that you were one of the OG garment girlies?
I don't like the self-proclaimed title, but yes, 100%.
For those who don't know, what's a garment girly?
Garment girlies, I'm pretty sure it's a low-key derogatory term via Reddit, but it's okay. Basically, it just means like girls that make content, and it's like garment based, like for the temple garments for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and you like show outfits. It's not really derogatory.
I did not know that. Okay, hold on.
I'm pretty sure it was a Reddit
But it was on Reddit?
But then it kind of became a thing. Like people were like, okay, then like I'm gonna use that as a title.
Wow.
Yeah. So it worked out.
So what made you start posting content about garments?
So I initially started posting content about the church.
Okay.
And then I decided I love the gospel, but I wanted to do more like casual stuff. I've also loved fashion since I was a little kid. Like I was always wearing like crazy stuff, like first grade, pull it up, or like the worst outfits. But I really like self-expression and like being creative. And so I wanted to do more fashion-based stuff. And I'm an endowed member. So I was like, let me just give the people what they want.
Okay. And then did you serve a mission?
Yeah, I did. I served in Washington, D.C.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was good. It was hard. Missions are hard.
I couldn't imagine. I didn't go on a mission, but making up for it now, right, y'all? Mm-hmm. But with that being said, I wanted to talk to you about just like, there's a lot of conversations online about garments, people who post about garments, the changes that come. From your experience, being someone that's engulfed in it, what has the conversation been like for you?
I think it's gotten, unfortunately, more negative online, but I also think because it's gotten more negative, it makes me want to share more because I want to be like a light amidst all the chaos going on. I mean, obviously with the change in garments, like they came out with the new garments and stuff, and that I think has sparked a lot more controversy and conversation. Conversation-wise, I think online it's just been, I like posting about it because you have both ends where it's like you have people that are like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for sharing this. I wanted to find a shirt that worked with whatever.
Yeah.
And then you also have the people that are like, what's a garment? Yeah. And so it's like a really cool like missionary opportunity to kind of share my beliefs and the things I love.
How has the reception been from people within the church? 'Cause I know outside the church, I mean, there's going to be criticism regardless, especially the Reddit threads. But when it comes to members, how have members been receptive of your page?
I think that my stuff sometimes can rub people the wrong way, but also really positive feedback as well. Like I think the younger generation for sure is like eating it up. The older generation, not as big of a fan. It's like mixed.
I feel you.
Yeah.
And I can see that because especially when I started first making content, you know, I would say to some, I guess, a little bit more loud clothing. Very unorthodox way of approaching the gospel. And I talked about controversial issues. For those who are super traditional and don't like the discomfort of maybe their faith being practiced differently than they imagine, it just comes off as like a threat to them. Yeah. The threat to their perception of the gospel. And it's interesting. But yeah, I was interested because I've seen some of the comments and how you've navigated it. So I appreciate your example. And I think overall, I think you have a great impact on it, on the gospel. Because I feel like for women especially, it's harder for y'all to find garment-friendly options. I think for men more recently, it's because I think it's become more trendy for boys to be out there in the short shorts shoulders. Hey, if you got it like that, if you're doing squats like that, I love it, man. You want to show the game. But with women, generally speaking, I feel like it's harder for women to find outfits, and I feel like you provide a perspective where it's like, hey, you can still look fly and be able to uphold your covenants.
Yeah.
Black market garments, though. Have to ask you, if you don't know, the garment girlies have been coming through providing sleeveless garments to members in America before they've actually been released in America. And I haven't gotten mine. Have you been being asked for that? I know some creators have, and I would love to know how that got started. What's the process like? Can we get into that process?
I sell them at $50 a piece. No, I'm just kidding. I've never ever given the new garments to anyone because it was lucky enough that I got them personally. My brother has a girlfriend whose family is stationed, they work for the government, and they're stationed out in Egypt. And they got her the wrong size. She's like 5'1". So she's like, hey, 5'10", do you want my garments? And I said, yes. And so I only have 2 pairs and I consistently wash them. But that's like my number one question that I get like all the time, like in all my DMs. It's like, girl, can you get me the new garments? And I think it's because it's like exciting and new. And
yeah.
I really am glad the church came out with like the new garments. It provides more opportunities for women to wear them and like still feel like fashion's so, it seems like really worldly. I had some people that are like, oh my gosh, like you're so in the world, like caring about clothes. You get it. Like, it's like, it's self-expression. It's fun. It's like an art form in my opinion. So I think it's like really fun to be able to have the option. The fact that it's not available now, it's like in high demand and everyone wants it. There are some girls, I'm not gonna drop names, who have sold garments to other people. To me, that feels like morally incorrect. So I'm not gonna do that. But
yeah, no comment.
That's how it started. The black market.
I was trying to get to school. I thought you had told them. I was like, hey, so what we talking about here? Two things. Let's talk about fashion real quick. Members' take on fashion is so interesting to me because they selectively choose when they care about fashion. when you self-express, everybody self-expresses in fashion, whether you believe it or not. It tells something about you. Fashion is what you are cool with the world perceiving about you. Me, I'm gonna throw myself under the bus. When I wear my flashy clothing, people are gonna say, oh, that might be a form of insecurity. He wants to be seen so bad. For me, my perception is God didn't hold back on creating the mountains, the sunsets. He didn't hold back on creating all the wonders of the world. So why should I have to hold back because you want me to just blend? With that being said, though, clothing does symbolize things in our gospel. When we wear a shirt and tie, that symbolizes something, right? When we wear our garments, obviously that's not seen by the world, but there are certain standards that we have, dress and grooming standards. Why? Because it is an expression of your inward feelings, whether you want to believe it or not. Now, the second thing, sleeveless garments. I know that rubbed members and non-members the wrong way. Non-members were saying that we were changing to fit the world. Ex-Mormons, anti-members were saying that as well. You know, members were like, dang, like people are not gonna understand what the garment is for. What are your thoughts on that?
I have a lot of thoughts on that. I think it is so awesome that the church is like trying to, one, provide opportunities for us to wear our garment. I know like there's obviously like some people like in humid climates and like things like that. I'm in Utah, it's like dry out here, so it's not that deep, you know? For me, it's like, I really want to like be able to express myself and wear the clothing that I want to wear and keep my covenants to get the best of both worlds. That being said, I have 2 hot takes. I first of all think the church has always been like a church with revelation and like ongoing revelation. You know, obviously like if you guys don't know this already, the garments used to go down to your wrists, you know, and down to your ankle. You know, then it got to knee length and my garments are not knee length. They're like mid-thigh, but it's okay. And it's same with the shirts. Like the shirts have gone up and up and up over time because we are a ongoing revelatory church. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I just think because revelation is ongoing, like we are going to change and adapt to the times to fit the needs of society because we as a society are always changing. We're like a modern church too, you know? So that's one side of things. Like it's always going to change. If people have a problem with that, like it's like not my battle to fight. They can wear the wrist length garments if they want. No stress. You have all you want.
Opportunity.
Yeah, more for you, I guess. The other side of it though, my hot take is I actually think it's really beneficial that they changed it because like I feel like in my experience, maybe because I'm a woman, I don't know if guys experience this as much, but like I feel like there's a lot of garment checking, especially for women. And I think with the new change, it provides more opportunities to just see each other as Christ would and not like dictate how righteous you are based on where your garment line is hitting on your legs or something.
Facts.
So that's just my personal opinion. I think it provides more opportunities to see each other as children of God and less of like who's more worthy.
For sure. I love that first point. People, I think, misconstrue that the church is changing because of the world as opposed to how we perceive the gospel and understand the gospel constantly progresses. I know growing up, shoulders were like, if women were showing their shoulders, it was like, oh my gosh. If men were showing their shoulders, it was just like, dang, that guy must be he must be a rebel. That to me was just very, very, very weird behavior. Whether or not you're showing your shoulders has no correlation with your testimony of Jesus Christ. I mean, I guess there could be for some people, but as a whole, and I think because of our understanding of that, and it just makes it more accessible for everybody to be able to wear it, right? Yeah. But with that culture, I think your pages like yourself provide the opportunity for people to reflect on their own biases. I would be lying if, because I grew up in a very traditional view of the gospel, being out there in Texas, that I grew up in the progression. It's like, hey, why do I think this? Why do I think that? And when you get to acknowledge your own biases, you realize, like, yeah, you're right. You can look at people as children of God and be able to judge them based off of their actions and their own decisions when it comes to their testimony of Jesus Christ, as opposed to some lining on your shirt. Fellas, can I see your collar? What would be nice, and wrapping up the conversation, is with your page, who's your target audience, and then what do you want them to know when it comes to your testimony?
I'm like a huge advocate for, obviously, women. My page is like 90% girls, girl power, love, but also just like people who feel like they don't necessarily fit in. Cause I don't think I've ever really felt like I fit in the gospel, because I grew up in Los Angeles, so it's like my viewpoint of the gospel is maybe a little different than someone who grew up in Provo, Utah. And like, it's not that one person is better than another or has like a better viewpoint than another. It's just different ways of living. And so I think being from LA, having the experiences I've had, I go to church with like people who are like crackheads on the side of the road. Like, we all just need Jesus. And that puts a lot of things into perspective for me. And so moving to Utah, there's just people who have had a whole different way of life than I had. And so I think it's just that sometimes makes me feel like, okay, I don't fit in. I'm like not really in the in crowd. And so I think my page is more for like the people that like standing out, and it's okay to stand out and take up space, and it's okay to dress how you want to dress and be confident and comfortable with yourself as a person, but also like, you can still be a kick butt disciple of Jesus Christ, you know? That's kind of what my page is for. It's like all the outcasts almost. I love them.
I love that. And I think there's room in the end for everybody.
Yeah.
And I think your page does a great job of that. Shoot, to wrap up the show, man, obviously the goal of the episode is to bring light to the conversations about garments, but in reality, it's just wearing garments in general. It's supposed to be a reminder, our commitment in relationship with Jesus Christ, not about what he say, she say, about how everybody else is living your life. We always want to focus internally, because how you feel internally about yourself and how you perceive things is gotta be how you treat others. See, that's what it's all about, right? All on the same team. So I appreciate you, Grace. Appreciate you being here.
Thanks for having me.
All right, peace. And where can we find you on Instagram?
Grace Vance. If you search up Grace Evans, I will probably come up.
Peace.